What's up, Kingdom? There's a lot of spells in Baldur's Gate 3, but what is truly best ones? Today I will show you best spells in my opinion, and we'll make little tier list from worst to best. There will be 18 total spells, all of them are really good. But which one I think is the most cool and broken spell in Baldur's Gate 3? Let's find out. And my list starts with Chain Lightning. Why is this level 6 spell so low on the list? Okay, first of all, you can most of the time use it only once per battle. It's doing large amount of damage, 10d8 lightning damage. And also it's doing this amount of damage to multiple enemies at once. And while damage is really impressive, limited ability where you can use it is the main pain point in my opinion. And also some enemies can have resist to lightning damage. So next spell on my list is Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is just level 1 spell, so you can cast it a lot. And also you can upcast it to do even more damage. But Baldur's Gate 3 is really vertical game, where there is a lot of high grounds and other stuff. So having ability to push enemies away with Thunder Wave, for example, can do a lot more damage than you can expect. Just goodbye Astarion. He took 56 damage from falling. This would kill a lot of enemies. And at the same time you can do this to a lot of enemies in one turn, because area of effect is really impressive. It's large square in front of you. And our next spell, it's Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray is actually one of the best and most universal spells from level 2. It's fire damage spell, so in case you need to ignite something, you can use the spell to ignite some area or maybe burn down some vines that hold in your allies, but at the same time you're not limited to one action. You get 3 rays, so you can focus down target with a large amount of health, and it's doing 6d6 damage on level 2. Damage is really incredible, and when upcasted to level 6, it can do up to 84 damage, which is even more than Chain Lightning. But yeah, Chain Lightning can bounce around the targets, so potentially Chain Lightning doing a lot more damage, but if you fight in single target, Scorching Ray will do more damage. And also very nice ability to split damage between targets. When someone got a really low health pool and other target got high health, you can just target one target with 1 ray, second target with 2 rays, and do nice amount of damage. Also this spell is attack roll, so you can critical hit with it, and that's why I think Scorching Ray is one of the best spells in the game. And next one of your favorite spells, Fireball. It's level 3 spell. Damage is 2d6 higher than Scorching Ray, so it's pretty fair damage, but it's doing damage in a large radius. In a lot of situations you will just destroy your enemies with 1 fireball, but sometimes position not giving you chance to hit fireball and not hit your allies. That's why fireball so low in my list. Maybe some of you are already surprised with my picks, so go and write in a comment your top 3 spells in Baldur's Gate 3. And let's find out, will these 3 spells will be same as mine. But for now, my next pick is Greater Invisibility. While this spell can considered like niche spell and weak spell, it actually can be super broken if combined with other cool spells, or with character who got nice proficiency in stealth, because with Greater Invisibility, when you're attacking, you need to succeed on stealth checks. But if you succeed on these checks, you will continue being invisible. So most of the time when you're attacking enemies, when you're invisible, you won't be invisible again. But now as you can see, I succeeded stealth checks and can do it a lot of time. It's super broken because you can do like 3-5 spells before fight even starts. And if you manage to do 5 spells before fight starts, you know the drill, fight won't even start. That's what make Greater Invisibility so broken. So what can be better than Greater Invisibility? In my opinion, it's Artistry of War. This spell can be used only with spell scroll, but if you play in Wizard, you can learn the spell, and you can gain it only in Act 3. But the spell is super cool. Basically, it's magic missile. The spell requires no attack roll, and will do from 8 to 18 force damage on hit, for a total of 12 d6 plus 6. So no matter you're fighting against someone who got high health count, you can do up to 78 damage to him. or large amount of enemies with lower health. You can spread damage against them, you don't need even line of sight. And this makes Artistry of War really broken and cool and powerful spell. But my next spell will possibly surprise you. Maybe you don't even know the spell. And this spell is... yeah, there is no spell over here. Because there is a catch. You can learn the spell only as Bard. Bards with magical secrets can learn Banishing Smite. And the coolest part about the spell, you can use ranged version of it. So it acts like Paladin Smite. It adds damage on hit, but force damage instead of radiant, which is least protected damage in the game. And at the same time, if you lower target below 50 hit points, you possibly will banish him. But the spell became even cooler if you combine it with twinned spell meta magic from Sorcerer. So if you went for 10 Bard and 2 Sorcerer levels, you can create a large amount of sorcery points and large amount of level 5 spell slots. Use this twin spell and cast it on 2 targets at the same time. This will do large amount of damage and also possibly banish the targets outside of the fight. But of course they need to survive your shot. And banishing targets is really useful stuff. They just disappear from the battle and will reappear over here in 2 turns. So you can set up some traps, surround them or do whatever you need while they banished. Or you will just have advantage in numbers in a fight for these 2 turns. That's really big, that's why Banishment Smite is so high in my list. But we are not even in a top 10, right now our 11th spot, and that's Conjure Elemental. Yeah, having high numbers against enemies with Banishing Smite is cool. But you can have high numbers even before battle starts with these elementals. They are super powerful. And also if you learn the spell as wizard, you can upcast it to level 6 and summon Myrmidons. This guy is really powerful and got nice and understandable playstyle. Coolest part that most of them can travel around the battle and not even being damaged. Unlike other summons, you can fly to one location, for example, then attack your target, and abilities and attacks really cool with multiple attacks, with elemental attacks that can disable or do really high amount of damage to your enemies, and then you just use elemental warp as bonus action. Almost all elementals can do it, and warp back as Misty Step. This elemental guys definitely deserve spot in 11th place of the best spells in Baldur's Gate 3. But here we are, number 10, and that's Armor of Agathos. In my opinion, incredible and super cool spell. You will gain 5 temporary hit points and you will deal 5 cold damage to any creature that hits you. Sounds not really strong, but you can upcast the spell. And most of the time you can really give level 4 spell slot for this to gain 20 hit points. Or you can upcast it even higher. You may ask what to do if enemies don't want to attack you. And that's not a problem. Because enemies, unlike you, can't turn off opportunity attack. You just come close and run away from them. And if enemy hits you, they will be destroyed. And this spell is very useful for some tanky wizard or sorcerer builds that can wear heavy armor and negotiate damage. So most of the time you will even take almost 0 damage. And next spell on my list is Chromatic Orb. It's number 9 because it's just level 1 spell and it's already doing 3d8 damage. It's a lot more damage than any other level 1 spell. But that's not it. You can cast Chromatic Orb as any damage type. But be aware, 3d8 is only when you cast in the Thunder version of it. Other versions will do 2d8 damage. But again, being able to do damage and at the same time make some surface below enemy feet, which is really cool too. For example, Chromatic Orb Acid will make acid surface beneath enemy legs. And this means they will have reduced armor class by 2. And it will be a lot easier for your allies to hit these enemies. Or cold surface, so they will be prone. Maybe they will be burned with fire. Or even electrified water when you're doing lightning damage. And that's actually big stuff, because you can do electrified water and then even freeze this water with other icy spells. Or make electrified water and then evaporize it with fire spells. So you create electrified steam. A lot of cool combinations with the spell, a lot more damage you can do with it. You can upcast it to higher damage and higher levels, so this spell is top 9 in my list. And top 8 is Cloud Kill. A lot of players don't agree with me because they think it's doing only 5d8 damage, which is from 5 to 40 damage. As level 5 spell, that's not enough. And at the same time, it's doing poison damage. A lot of people in the late game will have production from poison, so they will have reduced damage taken. But actually, it's doing damage at the start of every turn and at the end of every turn. So when you casting Cloud Kill on enemies, it will cover ground with a large cloud of poison. Whoever will enter this poison will take damage, and all enemies, when they stay in this poison cloud, when you just casting it, will take poison damage too. But then you can recast the spell every turn for 10 turns without using spell slots. So unlike other area of effect spells, where enemies can just run away, you just recast it without consuming spell slots and creating new areas of this really dangerous gas. And this means enemies will take damage when they starting, basically when you're casting the spell, and when they turn start. So it's not 5 to 40 damage, but 10 to 80 damage as level 5 spell. Every turn for 10 turns. Or you can even upcast it for almost 100 damage per turn. This makes Cloud Kill really broken and super powerful spell. And now look, this guy survived and he's standing in a Cloud Kill. You're not seeing it because I got nice SSD, I guess, but I guess you see. That's Cloud Kill over here. And now his turn starts, and he dead. That's how it works. That's why Cloud Kill is so cool. And if you keep in distance, for example, this works just ran through the Cloud Kill, they took damage. So next time I will cast Cloud Kill on them, it will basically be triple damage because they took damage once. Now when I cast it, they will take second instance of this damage, and then when they start their turn next time, they will take this damage again. Damage is incredible. But there's one more spell that can do even more damage in some circumstances and a lot faster than level 5. Next spell, yeah, again, I don't have it on my sorcerer. You can have it only on Storm Sorcerer, on Druid, or on other classes. Call Lightning. In my opinion, one of the coolest spells in the game. It don't have really large distance, large radius, but still you can hit a lot of enemies with it. And from level 3 you will already make from 3 to 30 damage. And coolest part, you can cast the spell like Cloud Kill for every turn for 10 turns in a row. Just use Activate Call Lightning and you won't use any spell slots. Spell slots is really valuable resource and you need to take care of it. And use the spell slots wisely. One of the wisest uses of spell slots, of course, using spells like Cloud Kill and Call Lightning. That's why this spell's so high in my list. And my next spell is Hold Person. You can hold humanoid and they can't move, act or react for 10 turns. All attacks from melee range will be critical hits. That's only level 2 spell and it can disable your enemies for 10 turns. And a lot of enemies will be humanoids. Also, you can upcast the spell to target more targets, and this makes Hold Person valuable for whole game. You just cast it and disable all enemies in area. Now your allies can come close and just attack these guys. For example, with normal attack, which will be critical hits and destroy targets easily. Or at the same time you can combine it with attack roll spells like Scorching Ray. And this will make critical hit fast. Isn't this beautiful? And that's why this broken and cool spell starting just below top 5 of my list. And next spell is Misty Step. Yeah, holding enemies and doing damage is nice, but sometimes you just have no lucky rolls and you need to escape. That's where Misty Step comes. It uses only bonus action and you can teleport to any area that you see in really big radius. And just with bonus action, using no movement speed, you escape in battle and then using your movement speed to escape a little bit more. Or you can hide after you're using Misty Step and then get in behind the cover and even end in fight with this strategy. Or you can use Misty Step offensively. Instead of running away, pick the best place, best location in a fight where it will be hard to get to you, maybe some roofs, some rocks, and teleport there. It's only bonus action and level 2 spell slot, of course, and then from the best position, from the high ground, you can bombard your enemies with fireballs or other valuable spells. But using Misty Step offensively is a lot cooler with my next spell. It's number 4 in my list, and that's Spirit Guardians. In my opinion, best spell if you want to clear this game. Clerics is really useful, and with Spirit Guardians they are broken. Level 3 spell which is doing from 3 to 24 damage, 3d8 basically. And just by using level 3 spell slot and just one action, you will concentrate on this beautiful spell. You can cast 2 versions of it, so it's either radiant or necrotic damage, and now just run around in circles, damaging enemies. One of the best spells in the game, because with good positioning you can damage up to basically every enemy in one turn. And on the next turn you will continue doing damage, but now you can use your action and bonus action for other stuff. Maybe for attacks or other spells. That's most beautiful part about this spell. Unlike Cold Lightning and other stuff, you don't need to recast it every turn. And this spell could actually be top 1, but you don't need to always do damage. Sometimes you need to survive or help your fallen teammates. That's where comes my top 3 spell in the game, Healing Word. Everything you do in this game costs some resource. So even coming close to your ally to give him hand will take your action and also some movement speed. After helping your ally, you will be together, you will be close, and some deadly enemies can utilize this stuff to do area of effect damage to you and your ally with Fireball and other cool spells. But they can't do it when you're using Healing Word. It uses only bonus action, and after casting this on your teammate, it will magically pull him up and heal at the same time. Healing Word is single supportive spell you need to beat this game on Honor mode. That's why I think it's definitely deserves top 3 place. But what is top 2? And number 2 in my list is Magic Missile. Magic Missile is just level 1 spell. It's doing low damage, just 3d4 plus 3 force damage. But coolest part, it doesn't require you to do any attack rolls. So when you need to finish enemy with 1 health, it doesn't matter will you finish them with Cloud Kill or Magic Missile. But with Magic Missile, you can do it calculated, because for example spells like Scorching Ray can actually miss you doing attack roll, and wasting precious actions or attacks against enemies who got only 1 health can cost you a fight. That's why Magic Missile is so high in my list and one of the most valuable spells in the game. Also, if combined with right gear, it can do a really nice amount of damage, because it will do not only force but also some lightning damage, and can be used to break bosses, or when you need to do 2 instances of the damage in 1 turn against the zombies or orcs who can pick themselves up. Requires no line of sight, you can cast it basically to any place you want, and they will travel to these locations. They called Magic Missile for a reason. So what is best spell in Baldur's Gate 3? I don't know how you guessed it, but again, it doesn't matter how much damage you can do with Chain Lightning, Cloud Kill, Magic Missile or other spells. When you have Globe of Invulnerability, truly the best spell in the game. It can save you, your life, your run, because it creates barrier that makes everyone immune to all damage for 3 turns. Basically you cast this stuff and stand in this globe. Now you can't be affected by any damage type. No matter if someone casting Fireball on you and your party, spamming 1 million Magic Missile again at your party, because it won't take any damage. No one will take any damage. Not even 1 million Scorching Rays will stop it. But you need to cast it smartly, because even enemies in this globe will be invulnerable to all damage types. But again, you can stand near the cliff or some pretty safe part and then cast globe right here, for example. Then you get invulnerability, while your enemies can't get this invulnerability. So smart placing of this globe can really help you. That's truly one of the most powerful spells in the game. I'm curious what spells you think is most powerful. Don't forget to write in comment your tier list, and see you in the next videos, guys.